Hey, Bikeaholics, 3D has a wide variety of innovative products for your Harley-Davidson motorcycle, affordable chrome, lighting, and comfort products. These guys ride and support riders just like you. Head over to lawabidingbiker.com/store and check out our full line of 3D products.
Russell's the man. Nicely done. Don't forget, we are an official Sena and IMC headset dealer. lawabidingbiker.com/store. Get our Biker Boom wired 7-pin headset. The only wired headset we recommend. It's a fraction of the price of the headset with an HD logo stamped on it. That's right, that old Harley tax. It's good for full, half, 3/4, and no helmet versions available. Full boombox integration. Also, get all the popular Sena Bluetooth wireless headsets and accessories. That's right, guys. We have the FreeWire Bluetooth transmitter and receiver device also available for you guys. Also, full boombox integration. Support us. Head over to lawabidingbiker.com/store. Get hooked up. Big Daddy Kane and Grunt in the store, ready to ship to you right this very moment. Hey, Bikeaholics, do you have your grip on?
You know, the Biker Gripper.
Simply the best motorcycle, cell phone, GPS, radar detector, and EFI tuner mount on the market.
Oh, it grips so tight.
That's right, 18 pounds grip strength to be exact.
So sleek and strong.
That's right, fits American or metric motorcycles and comes in black or chrome.
So what are you waiting for? Get your grip on.
You can get the Biker Gripper exclusively in the Law Abiding Biker store. Head over to www.lawabidingbiker.com/store and get your grip on. That's right, Russell. Get your grip on, bro.
Oh, man.
Get your grip on. Get your grip on.
No doubt.
Sitting here on a Saturday morning. Just got done with a live broadcast. Going to do this one now. Got some great freaking subject matter. I will say that.
For sure.
Mm-hmm. Lurch over there on the sofa.
Yeah.
Ready to go.
I am.
We're all coffeeed up. We're hyper.
And
then we're going to do lunch after this. But yeah, you'll definitely want to stay tuned. We have a subject matter that has been asked about a lot. And in fact, there was a recent Facebook post in the private patron-only Facebook group. Did you guys see that?
I did.
A guy asking, and in fact, I think I have a link to that. So let's just freaking get going, Russell.
Yeah.
Let's do this thing. Welcome back, you freaking Bikeaholics. This is the podcast for the motorcycle majority, the Big MM, also known as the
Motorcycle Majority.
And the 99%.
There you go. Nice.
Yeah.
Large and in charge more than any time in history, guys. It is what we call
the Biker Revolution, bitches.
That's right. What are you waiting for?
Mount up and ride.
Let us take you
on a wild-ass ride. There you go.
Welcome back, Bikeaholics. Ryan Erlacher here, your host of the Law Abiding Biker podcast and your
high-tech redneck.
That is Russell Roberts right there. Patron Russell Roberts, who has been in the studio before, no stranger. He's going to help head this up. And in fact, this episode was his very idea. Today's subject matter is, how do I phrase it? It's going to be all about riding motorcycles. It's going to be specific mostly to the United States of America. America. And it's going to be about, and we're going to give some insights into how some of us carry. And we're going to go to that Facebook post in the private Facebook group. The only way to get in there, guys, we have this discussion. This is one of a piece of straw in a needle in the haystack of the conversations that go on. Yeah. Some of the stuff I pull out to make episodes like this, but to get in the true sense.
Right now, the audience is thinking, carry what?
Oh, did I not say firearms?
You did not.
No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
We know what you meant.
Correct. No, thank you.
Yep.
I miss stuff all the time because I have too many thoughts going on.
Rattling around in that little tiny head of yours.
Just bouncing around, driving me to drink, dude.
Oh, boy.
Carrying firearms while you're a law-abiding biker. I will tell you that we need to take a little moment because we here at Law Abiding Biker Media, we fully support our Second Amendment right to bear firearms, and we're heavy supporters of that. There's a reason we can all do that, so we need to take a little bit and really start this off right and give the reason that we can all, number one, ride Harley Davidsons or any motorcycle for that reason, for that matter, and also the right to bear arms and do that while we're riding.
If we look to the answer as to why for so many years we achieved so much, prospered as no other people on earth, it was because here in this land we unleashed the energy and individual genius of man to a greater extent than has ever been done before. Freedom and the dignity of the individual have been more available and assured here than in any other place on earth. The price for this freedom at times has been high, but we have never been unwilling to pay that price. Those who say that we're in a time when there are no heroes, they just don't know where to look. The sloping hills of Arlington National Cemetery, with its row upon row of simple white markers bearing crosses or stars of David, they add up to only a tiny fraction of the price that has been paid for our freedom. Each one of those markers is a monument to the kind of hero I spoke of earlier. Their lives ended in places called Belleau Wood, the Argonne, Omaha Beach, Salerno, and halfway around the world on Guadalcanal, Tarawa, Pork Chop Hill, the Chosin Reservoir, and in 100 rice paddies and jungles of a place called Vietnam. Under one such marker lies a young man, Martin Treptow, who left his job in a small-town barber shop in 1917 to go to France with the famed Rainbow Division. There on the Western Front, he was killed trying to carry a message between battalions under heavy artillery fire. We're told that on his body was found a diary. On the flyleaf, under the heading, My Pledge, he had written these words: America must win this war. Therefore I will work, I will save, I will sacrifice, I will endure. I will fight cheerfully and do my utmost as if the issue of the whole struggle depended on me alone. We must realize that no arsenal or no weapon in the arsenals of the world is so formidable as the will and moral courage of free men and women. It is a weapon our adversaries in today's world do not have. It is a weapon that we as Americans do have. Let that be understood by those who practice terrorism and prey upon their neighbors. As for the enemies of freedom, those who are potential adversaries, they will be reminded that peace is the highest aspiration of the American people. We will negotiate for it, sacrifice for it. We will not surrender for it now or ever. We are Americans.
Yeah.
Right on.
How about that? Yes. Thank you, all of you listeners out there. We also heavily support our men and women who serve this country. Thank you for your sacrifices and all the families behind those men and women that serve. And thank you for the opportunity to ride motorcycles and carry guns here in the United States. And we're sorry, some of you, we have worldwide listeners that don't have some of those, things, and especially California, since you're a different country. Just teasing. I'm just teasing. We love you guys in California. Sorry that you have to put up with such strictness down there on firearms and things like that. We're lucky up here in Washington State. It's a very pro Second Amendment state and right to carry and open carry and all that kind of stuff. We're right next to Texas, I guess, on that stuff. It's weird because it's such a west side of the state, so liberal, but yet we, it's always funny to think about that. So,
well, even though they're liberal, Washington is very pro citizen rights. And so while a liberal west side Seattle person may not carry a gun or own a gun or like guns, they still wouldn't want to infringe on your right to carry it. So it's an interesting dichotomy there.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. How's your parts of the woods on that?
Well, we don't have open carry in Tennessee unless you're permitted. But Kentucky, you can open carry. All around us, really, Virginia, a lot of states around us, you can open carry. The Southeast is,
but it's no problem as long as you get a permit.
Yeah.
Okay.
No problem at all.
And as long as you're not a convicted felon or something, basically.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's good. That's good. Let's, before we get in deeper on this subject matter, I just want to mention a new free video. We try to do that for you guys. It's the Harley Wireless Headset Interface Module, the WIM. It's for their boombox. And it's a, without getting deep into it, if you want wireless connectivity to your boombox, it's another solution aside from the Sena FreeWire, which we still heavily promote. But that video is blowing up. That's another one, Matt, that you probably didn't know I was going to put out, and the comments are just blowing up. You're probably right.
That was another one where I'm sitting in class and my phone's just going bzz, 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 bzz. Ryan must have released a new video.
Yeah.
That's freaking funny.
And I haven't had the opportunity to play with the WIM yet. So what I really know about it is what we've talked about either through our group me with the guys down in California, some of their experiences, or by watching your video. So I answer most of them, but there are a few that I have to send to Ryan or Rick to get the answer on.
Right. Yeah, that's funny. I figured that one was too, because it is blowing up. But you just go to our website, upper right-hand corner search bar. You can search anytime, search for the WIM, WHIM. And all of you that have boom boxes and realize what that device may do. You'll definitely want to watch that video before you even think about parting with your money and paying the Harley-Davidson tax. You'll know what I'm talking about when you get over that video, whether you want to pay that tax and what it can and can't do, some of the limitations on that. You guys want to, speaking of patrons, we love our patrons. We got Russell Roberts sitting right in the studio here. And you want to thank these patrons there, buddy?
Hey, it's John Fisher of Hallthorpe, Maryland. Guy Gorney of Manhattan, Illinois. James Raja Keach of Apple Valley, California. He's a top tier. James McKinley of Banning, California. Banning. I know Banning. There's a scale house there I hate. And Cecil Hoskinsons of Muskogee, Oklahoma. I'm going to be near there Thursday. I got to deliver in Tulsa.
Oh, is that right? That's where you're rolling through?
There's one more there. Robert Bornheimer.
Robert Bornheimer.
Which, if you'll recall from our previous episode we recorded earlier today, made a donation towards the shop.
Nice.
He did.
Nice. He made a donation towards the Law Abiding Biker Shop and Studio. Very cool.
And Cecil's a top tier.
Yes. Good call. lawabidingbike.com/Patreon, Patreon. That's right. Pledge a certain amount per piece of content, guys. Get involved. No risk. You can put a monthly cap. Get benefits such as that awesome private Facebook group, which is where this very episode stems from, and T-shirts up to access to our premium videos up on request. So, main topic, let's just break it down. Now, I do want to tell you that I told you earlier, this actually came from Russell here, who's in town because he is a long-haul professional truck driver, and he gets through this way, and we were able to hook it up here with Lurch in the studio. But Russell, it may have been up to a year ago. I can't remember, but
I can't remember either. It was a little while back.
He sent me this idea, and I thought it was a great idea. And of course, when people send me great ideas, it gets on the long list of things to do, which that list, as Lurch knows, grows exponentially, and there's no way that we could. That's why we'll never run out of content.
Right.
I was, when we first started Lab, I was like, I think are we going to run out? Dude,
no,
we can never. I can't even talk about a quarter of the stuff that we want to talk about. But we pulled this from the group, but Russell had sent me these, and I had him do notes, I believe, at the time. I said, come up with some great ideas, and I cut and pasted those notes back to you. You're probably like, wow, he kept that stuff. Wow.
I was impressed. Yeah.
Very cool.
Been a while back.
And so I've got the Facebook post up, and I've got Russell's notes up here. So why don't you, how did you come up with this idea and about this carrying firearms and why you think this would be good for the, the law-abiding biker community?
Well, I carry, and it's, I know a lot of guys that carry, but yet there's so much misinformation out there, and, we'll be just scratching the surface today, but, it's a very serious topic. Because when you're carrying to protect, to defend yourself. And when you're riding, and especially when you're riding cross country or, just riding around, and going into other states, there's so many laws that change from state to state or even from city to city sometimes. And I thought it'd be a good idea to talk about it just to make guys aware of a few things maybe they haven't thought of.
Right. Very nice. Very nice. Lurch?
Yeah.
Any follow-up on that?
No, that was well put. I think that'll get us on the topic and get us moving.
Yes. And interesting thing is the reason I wanted to bring Russell in is because you have to understand me and Lurch and the rest of the guys here, we're all, for the most part, Leos. And you had brought this up at one point, Russell. You know, Russell will be more of a resource to you in this episode.
Yep.
Based on, you know, he has to be aware of all the laws and whether he's going to carry into another state. We as Leos are very fortunate. Well, thank God for President Bush.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, that act.
LEOSA.
Yes, AHB.
LEOSA, Law Enforcement Officer Safety Act.
Yeah, why don't you explain that?
Before we had
he signed it right before he went out of office because it was ridiculous before then. We were under the same as citizens, which was just, he said was stupid, and he's right. So
yeah,
in a nutshell, it gave law enforcement officers the ability to carry statewide from state to state. You don't need any special permits. You can carry your firearm.
All 50 states.
All 50 states.
And DC.
Mm-hmm. Yes, all 50 states, DC. And you just, all we have to have is our badge and our law enforcement identification with us. And which just, it seems so stupid that before that it wasn't that way. It's just like, that makes no sense, but it was.
Mm-hmm. And there also, as a retired law enforcement officer, if you have your retired ID and that you stay qualified.
If you stay qualified with some sort of law enforcement department, which we, as a firearms instructor,
offer that.
We offer it and we take them out. I have taken some of them out and qualified them so that they can, fully retired with a pension. With that certification, makes it nice.
It makes it easy. We can go anywhere and not have to think about what state we're going into, what their laws are, whether we can carry or not carry. We know that because of that LEOSA, we can carry it anywhere.
Yep. So that's what I'm saying. Russell, having him in here and you guys out there, if you're not in Leo capacity, there's things that you have to think about. So what do we want to talk about? Sure. Take it from there. You're steering this episode, buddy.
Oh, wow. Well, I was just going to say, you guys have got it made as far as that goes. And then as far as the rest of us out there, we need to be aware of, one, whatever your home state is, what the laws are there, and if you need a permit. I know in some states you can constitutional carry.
Let's talk about that. Because
like here in Washington,
yes,
you don't have to have a permit to carry openly. And there's several states that are like that.
And so
Kentucky's like that.
Right.
Arizona, Virginia, there's several of them.
And so let me clean that up just a little bit because we understand what that means, but there's not everybody in the law-abiding biker community carries guns. So what he means by that, some people don't know open carry. What is that? So what he's saying is here in Washington State, and there are some caveats. You can't be a convicted felon.
Right.
Here in Washington State, if you're a convicted felon, you can't carry a firearm at all, period.
Period.
But if you're a good law-abiding biker citizen and you're over the age of 18, here in Washington State, you can open carry. And what that means is you can't conceal, but you could put a pistol on your hip and make sure it's in plain view.
Like the old Wild West.
Like the old Wild West. And we do get a lot of people doing it around here, especially the area we live in here. So, and you'd be fine doing that. Now, there's other caveats, like you can't go in places like courthouses that say no firearms.
Areas.
There are restricted. So there are
school zones.
Correct. Yeah.
Hospitals
that say that have it posted.
Now that'll vary from state to state. So
totally,
your state laws will govern that, and you need to be aware of that.
So
you
be
can't
careful.
Just strap to your hip and go anywhere. You need to know.
You can be arrested for going into a courthouse and things like that. So I just want to make sure we list that if you're not familiar, you throw a gun on your hip.
Federal facilities, you cannot.
Right.
Cannot.
That's pretty consistent. So. So that's what open carry is. Now here in Washington State, and you alluded to it a little bit earlier, Russell, in your state, you can't do that, but you can go get a permit. Now in our state, if you want to conceal it, if you're not a law enforcement officer, we can conceal it. We don't have to have permits, but for the general public, you have to have a concealed carry permit is what it's called. And they basically do a background check. You pay your tax.
And you could do the course. You have to go through a course.
No, see, not here.
Not in Washington.
You just get a permit.
Wow.
See, so that's interesting. So
in Tennessee, it's required.
So why don't you?
It's a full day. the process at home is to go to a certified instruction classwork, and there are specific guidelines for all the instructors. That these are private, whether it's a gun shop or somebody that does this on their own. There's required training material you have to have, visually watched in video, and also paperwork or material, and you take little tests and stuff too with it. And then you also have to qualify at the range.
What do they teach you though in the class? Like safety rules or what? Or state laws?
So much, not so much safety rules. There is a little bit of that, but really it teaches you about. Yeah, right. Sherry and I, we both have carry permits. We both went through this same time. It's where you have, the material was mainly about when you cannot draw and protect yourself.
So it was a self-defense class, laws on self-defense.
Yeah, guidelines basically. It was not deep, but yet it was an overview of, like in Tennessee, there is stand your ground. And the council doctrine, stand your ground, means you do not have to retreat.
Okay. So, this is the stuff we need to talk about. So
and that'll vary from state to state.
Okay.
And also
which means if you
doctrine.
Which means you don't have to leave. So
you have every right to be where you're standing. Then you don't have to run away.
You're not legally obligated to run, retreat.
Yeah.
Out of a situation.
Out of a situation.
Okay.
So you'll hear it referred to as a stand your ground law.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
I just want to make sure, because if I don't understand it, the audience doesn't.
Right.
So, okay.
I get you.
Good.
Yeah, that's one of the things that they went over in the classroom part of it. And that's really what the class is about, to give you an overview of what you are obligated to do as a permitted gun carrying citizen. And then the range qualification. If you don't pass that, which I can't remember the minimums, then you then you haven't passed either. You gotta at least be able to shoot, hit the target. So
yeah, that's
what it is required.
Yeah.
That's what's required in Tennessee.
Okay.
And it varies from state to state, but I think most states do require something along this line. I'm surprised they don't here.
And see, that's interesting, because I did not know some states had a class, because I'm so used to here.
Yeah, I know Utah does, and I've heard from friends of mine that are not law enforcement officers that carry. Utah's another good one to get, because
you can get an out-of-state residence permit from Utah. I know that.
And because it's one of the ones that has the most reciprocity, which we'll talk about in a little bit.
Nice.
I think the reason that Washington doesn't see a lot of reciprocity is because we don't have any real training or qualifications. You just go down, pay your money, have a background check done on you. If you're not a convicted felon or something that would prohibit you from carrying a firearm, you get your permit. It's pretty easy.
When you're talking about reciprocity, and that's what you're saying, other states probably look at Washington and go, you ain't fucking carrying a gun in our state. You have no training. You have no standards other than they're not a convicted felon.
To explain reciprocity, basically meaning that our permit would be honored in another state. That's reciprocity.
Nice.
Our permits generally aren't honored in a whole lot of other states. And I know
that might be the reason why.
Yeah, from what I understand, if you get one at Utah and maybe Tennessee even, because you've got those qualifications, there's several states that will honor your permit in
Washington
their state.
Will not honor mine as of this year.
Really?
Yeah.
So we won't let you.
Which is funny. You have more
retarded.
Your state requires more training than ours, but we won't honor yours here.
This is how I don't like the state. We could get deep. I'm not going to. But when you talk about each state has their own law, this is when it fails, because if you can carry in the United States, you should just be able to carry in the United States. It should be a federal standard.
Exactly.
And it pisses me off. And that's when you're like, the state thing doesn't work that well sometimes, where each state has, how can a citizen, it's hard for a citizen to even, like you, Russ, right now, trying to Google, if you,
I've got an app.
So thank you. So
me.
Please, let me write that down. We'll talk about that app in a second. Man, you guys got good stuff. See, this is how these conversations just get deep. So let me digress a little bit with you, Russell. What is that qualification, the actual physical qualification with your handgun entail? Like, Do you guys shoot beer cans down there? No. Are you required to drink a six pack?
We got a six pack, and then we got the cans and the bottles set up on the fence post. Yeah,
he's showing. This is a cool app. He's showing me where Washington's honored, and it's in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, only 7 other states
honored our.
Okay, where
Tennessee is not one of them.
Where versus his, you put in his Tennessee one is honored in the
38 states.
Wow.
Yeah.
I wish they would fix this. I wish they would just go to one standard. And nice. If you get certified, you can carry anywhere in the United States of America and F off California. So you can't be making your bullshit rules anymore.
Yeah, I know.
Not California people. I feel sorry for you.
This stuff goes back so far. I mean, even if you can't even buy a damn gun out of state. You have to have it. You can. I bought one in Idaho, but I couldn't take it with me.
No, you have to have it sent through an FFL.
I had to ship it to an FFL here in town and do the paperwork here and register it here. And
what purpose does that serve is what I have to ask the government. Like, what purpose does that serve? Because if a guy can carry a shotgun in Idaho, he can carry it in Washington. If he wants to kill somebody in Idaho, he can kill somebody in California.
Well, you can cross the lines with with a shotgun. You can cross state lines.
Yeah, I know.
Doesn't stop
handguns.
That's a good point, man. See, handgun versus rifles. Yeah. Well, then that's what I think you should do. Is just mount right here. Here's the picture. Okay, Russell Roberts,
Mad Max style,
Mad Max dude, traveling cross country, dude, playing this song right here.
Hell yeah,
with a Remington 870 Express.
Yeah, baby.
Dude, just right there, dude, in your half helmet.
Strapped to the handlebars.
Shotgun. I can go anywhere I want.
No, man, we'll mount that thing like on a horse. We'll have that thing down on the side.
Dude. Although if you do that and you ride up here, you need to let me take some video of you riding with a shotgun.
For sure.
Better yet is put the strap, the carry strap, dude, right over your back.
Oh, yeah. What do they call that?
Sling?
A sling. So literally, all jokes aside, you could do that.
Yeah.
Right? You can cross state lines with a shotgun or a rifle, a long gun. And I'm sure there's a barrel length requirement.
A lot of states have barrel length, yeah. But the difference, obviously, is the hand can be concealed much easier.
Right.
And
it doesn't make sense, though, because
if
you're worried about killing, I'll take a rifle instead of a handgun because I can kill a lot more people.
Generally speaking,
it's so stupid.
Shotguns and rifles were made for hunting.
Oh,
right. You got to look at it that way.
I know.
Versus a handgun, which is designed just for self-defense or for killing humans.
It's for killing people.
I hunt all the time elk with my handgun, bro. I get drunked up. I get my spotlight out, bro. I go midnight spotlighting.
Yeah.
Don't you guys do that down there? Isn't that legal? It's not. No, it's illegal here. I'm just teasing.
I know.
It's highly illegal. Yeah. Okay. So, where were we? So, we can.
We were talking about the requirement, and you were asking him about the qualification, what it consists of.
Yeah,
okay, but just
to get your permit.
We're all over, and I love it. We're all over
we
the place.
are, aren't we?
So I'm bringing. So it is fair to say that you literally could do that on a motorcycle. I'm not suggesting you do that. You probably get a lot of looks, and it'd probably be pretty uncomfortable.
Bring a lot of attention.
Bring a lot of attention, but technically you could, under current state laws, you can travel state to state without a permit. Again, there are requirements like not being a convicted felon. You can't have a firearm at all in any state if you're a convicted felon, I'm pretty sure.
Of any kind of firearm.
Any kind of firearm, let alone a long gun or a handgun, So we are going to reel it back into handguns now. There are strict requirements. And again, I know what you said, and I appreciate that, but if I'm looking at it overall, it's retarded. It's ridiculous, and those laws should be refined. Because,
it is now.
Dude, you can carry an AR-15 across state lines, which can do 1,000 times the damage a pistol can.
I would say
and
that
you're fine. It just makes no sense. It makes no sense to me.
I would say when these laws were made, there weren't AR-15s, most likely.
No,
seriously,
a lot
they
of
were
these
hunting
laws
rifles and hunting shotguns.
A lot of these laws were made,
pistols.
80, 100 years ago. And then it's just grown over time, based on those laws.
Right.
Actually, probably a little more. Around the end of the 1800s, there were more laws being passed. And I don't understand how it came to be, but it's so convoluted now.
It is. It's hard to revamp because
it's all based on...
It could be revamped and refined and made really easy, but...
Well, it's like any other
government.
It could be fixed, but it would take so much momentum to get it done on the federal level with an and really it would require a constitutional amendment.
Mm-hmm.
It would.
And it's like any other laws. The states are allowed to be more restrictive than the federal.
Correct.
The feds. So while
if there's no preemption, but
right.
yes.
So you're talking about there should be one law. Wouldn't it be nice if there's just one federal law and everybody followed it and you could take your gun into any state and abide by those rules? Yeah, it'd be awesome. But the fact is the states can be more restrictive, and that's where we start getting into problems.
Although the federal government can, and they have on other things, there can be preemptions where they can't do that, like the FAA. See, they can't. You can't make. You can't supersede. It's called a preemption. So the federal government can do it, and they have done it with other areas.
Tell them to get it
done.
Really?
It can be done. Oh yes. States can't states can't screw with FAA rules.
And you would know that because you're a pilot.
Yes. Yeah. Right. Yeah. I'm all big time. Big fighter pilot. I put a gun on my drone. I'm now a fighter pilot, bro.
Yeah.
Drone pilot.
So there are.
But you are a pilot.
I am a pilot. I am a Part 107. That's right. A remote pilot in command. RIPC, bro. Remote RPIC. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right. So we could get off. Yeah, we could
go down that rabbit
hole. That's good though.
That's a big one.
It could be done.
Yeah.
So let's digress now.
So where we're at now
is
with
the qual. Your qual. I want to get back to the qual.
Yeah.
What is the beer cans?
Yeah.
Thing.
It's really basically target practice. You start. I'm trying to remember the distances, but you start close to the target, 15 feet or something like that. And you can use your gun, or we only had one handgun back then, and it was so Sherry used one of their 22s, and
What happens if you yell right before you shoot? Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker. Do they look bad at that? Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
You know what he just apologized for?
What?
Because he caught himself doing it. Oh,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He likes to fondle his mic, too.
I was waiting for him to hit me in the arm.
Do you know anyway, he likes to fondle his mic with his hand, too.
Oh, yeah.
Matt's going to go nuts over there. You fondling your mic, dude.
So then you move back 5 feet or whatever it was. So you go from up close to, I think there's 4 different distances you have to shoot in. So you're shooting off, let me think. We went through a box. So 50 rounds, and you do so many at this place, so many at this place, so
Sounds
many at this place.
Sounds very familiar.
Yeah.
And then, you have to come up with, I think, an 80% or better. I think.
Yeah,
I can't remember. Anyway.
Probably 50 rounds, probably a score of 500.
Sherry was proud of hers because she got 100 and I got a 99.
Nice.
Missed it by that much.
It's probably because she yelled yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker, right before she shot.
Yeah, exactly. And no, I can't remember why, but but my pattern, my grouping was dead center except for that one, which hit the last outside line and it didn't count. And then maybe we went through 100 rounds. Anyway, then...
Still upsets you, doesn't it?
Hers was 100. She got all hers. Yeah, but she was all over inside that target, whereas mine was all in a nice little group.
Right.
Dead center.
Doesn't count.
No. Only had one go stray. So
yeah, only missed once and killed one child in the background. No big deal. Don't worry about that one little round.
That's what we tell guys because we instruct at the range. We're always don't worry about that little guy. You just killed an innocent child. It's good because we have to be responsible for every bullet. So that's funny.
We do too.
Right? Citizens do too. Yeah,
and that was one of the other things in the course. That's one of the things they emphasize in the course work. Is you are responsible for every round,
backdrop,
everywhere it goes. You are that they really emphasize that.
Yeah, well, sounds like a decent course. It's a standard. It's a standard, and I like that. I like that they're doing.
It's a whole day thing.
I wish they'd do that here. I think I'm liking that now that I've heard about it. I'm liking that. All right, so let's move from there. So what else to keep this in a good progression of what we're doing, Russell?
Well, after you do that, there it was again.
Damn it, Russell. Now you got
at least 2 of
lip schmacker,
and I have to leave them in because we're talking about them.
Correct.
So if we talk about them, I gotta leave them in.
That's
correct.
True.
If we don't talk about them, I just cut them out.
Sorry, everybody that has to listen to that.
You'll have to listen to at least 2 lip smacks.
Yeah. Well, so progressing along, once you go through that, then your background check is done. Or no, I'm sorry. Your background check is done first, and then you're approved to go to the course.
Right. Because they don't want felons in there.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, the guys that are selling the course want to sell all the seats they can.
Well,
I'm
no,
sure.
they don't. The government doesn't want that, right?
Right.
And they're working under the government. They're a contract.
It is.
Correct.
It is.
Yeah.
Yep.
I would assume.
Oh,
Yeah.
they are. You can only go to what the state approves.
Right.
That's it. Nobody else. They won't even look at you if you did.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, then you get your permit, and it's like a driver's license.
Okay.
And
same here. Yep. Little
every
laminated.
5 years you can renew it, or you can get a lifetime one. I did the lifetime one in Tennessee. Of course, that's only good as long as you're clean,
Right.
and it won't
alive.
be revoked. Right.
Yeah. Right.
Exactly. So, and then you can. There's nothing else required after that.
But you
as
have
far as
you
state
still have the
requirement.
restrictions like here, even with the permit, the courthouses and that
Exactly.
kind of thing. Okay, yeah, right.
Yeah, post offices and all federal facilities you can't carry into. You have to leave it in your car.
But you can conceal it on your person pretty much anywhere you want.
Everywhere you want to go, just about. Yeah, except for those places where you can't, and in public events and other places where they're not allowing weapons. Of course you can't. They won't let you in, like NFL games or something. But then you can ride and carry.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Now I will say, because I may not have mentioned it up front, but we here heavily support you guys. If you're law-abiding bikers and it's your Second Amendment right, and if you want to carry, I'm all about law-abiding bikers and citizens. We have a lot that carry around here. Like I stop, because I'm a motors officer, I stop a lot of people in our area. And I will tell you, there's a lot of people that are carrying, and they're required. That's one of the requirements here when you get a permit.
Mm-hmm. Oh, is it?
Concealed carries.
Yeah.
If you get contacted in any way by law enforcement, you are required to let that law enforcement officer know that you are a permit holder and you have a firearm on your person and where it's at. And everybody's really good about it. And we're used to guns around here. Everybody's got guns, and it's not a big deal to us. I just, okay, cool. But you are required to notify law enforcement. So we strongly encourage, and I think most law enforcement, I'm not speaking for everybody, but a lot of people ask that question. And since we are Leos, we can field that question in this episode. For the most part, I don't think most law enforcement has any problem with law-abiding bikers or citizens who are properly permitted to carry. We are pro. I'm sure that varies in a few areas, and I don't know what states that would be, or that it would be a large segment of law enforcement, but I have traveled a lot, and Lurch has too, in different trainings, and I don't really hear any contradicting things on that. You know what I mean? But I'm sure like in anywhere, you're going to have some liberal, law enforcement officer somewhere that's
there's exceptions. But
there's got to be.
All the Leos that I've talked to, they're all for everybody carrying if you're legal to do so.
Yep.
They ain't got a problem with you doing that.
No, we appreciate it because that can help us possibly. You know what I mean? And
there's plenty of stories out there where private citizens have helped.
Yep, it's very true.
And even saved some guys' lives.
Yep, very true. Very true. Yeah. And so we are for it. And both as Leos and here, at Lab Media. So I just wanted to throw that out there. But I would say the caveat to that is if you are in a state that like ours, where you only have to go get a permit, please do yourself a favor, because I don't think that's a safe thing unless you have experience. Please take a course, find a course, take some courses, take some self-defense courses, close quarters combat type stuff, so that you can use that effectively, that tool, and that you know when to use it, and the rules about using it, and all those kinds of things, so that you're responsible. That's all I ask, is that, that if you're going to do it, because I do know people with permits that really don't train, and they've maybe never trained, and they have a lot of bad habits.
Well, and
and things like
people that don't need. In some places, like in Kentucky, I've come across guys that open carry and they've never had any training,
right?
And it shows. And get some training, continue training too.
Yep, and it's a diminishing skill.
It is, and get some, like you said, get some training on how to use and how to be situational aware, and how to use your weapon when it gets to that point.
Right. And the legal issues behind using it, because you don't want to get yourself in a legal pickle. That's a last resort kind of deal,
Yeah, and there's a good book out there, and it's I recommend everybody get it.
No, good.
And this is on the legal part. And sorry, I didn't have it up.
No,
let me get it up. Bring it up.
Do you have anything on that? Piggybacking off what I said, get some good training. Make sure you're, if you're going to carry it, riding cross country on your motorcycle, and
we're going to talk about carrying it and where to carry it, I think, as part of this episode,
yes,
too.
We are.
Because that was what kind of was spurred in that Facebook post.
That relit that fire.
Yeah, but all I will say is do train and carry it where you would normally. So if you carry it in your vest, get used to pulling it out of your vest and shooting. If you carry it in your hip,
take that vest to the range and pull out of it. We have to do that with our officers.
Yeah.
They try to come to the range and carry it in a different spot, backups. No, you carry it where it is.
Because you're going to create memories, memories, and
training scars is what we call them.
Perfect. That's a good way to call it. And you talk to people all the time that have been in shootings, and they don't even know what they did. They just know that it went well, and they
came out of the holster. They shot.
Yeah, they're like, I don't even remember pulling it. It just my training took over is what they'll say.
Gross motor skills.
Or they'll get in a ground fight and use some ground tactics we've taught them. They're like, man, that worked perfectly. I didn't even know I did it.
Right.
It's because you do so many repetitions. It's scarred in your brain.
Yep.
And it just happens. So if you carry your vest, take your vest to the range. If you carry on your hip, practice pulling from your holster in the hip.
If you find yourself in that kind of a situation, especially you guys are day in and day out more of this and thinking through this all the time, whereas a normal citizen is just going about their daily lives.
Mm-hmm.
But then all of a sudden they find themselves in a dire situation, and the adrenaline gets going and all kinds of things happen, and you're aware of all these things, whereas most people are not, and it's like they're probably going to be shaking like a leaf.
Code black is what we call it. A lot of citizens go code black, and they just, because it's freeze, it takes a long time to train your brain to handle those levels of adrenaline and still be able to function. It takes a lot of years to do that. So we call it code black, where they just kind of shut down.
Makes sense.
It happens. It happens to new officers.
That's why I say, go to more training. And that's something I haven't done a whole lot of in the last couple of years, but it definitely would help.
And to piggyback off what Lert said about training scars, I'll tell you an easy, so that we clean that up. Train where it's at. So if we have an officer come out to the range, sometimes the officers will come out in different gear. So they carry a duty belt every day, and the gun's on their right, and their magazine pouches are on a very specific location. Well, they come to the range, and they'll want to shoot.
Web gear and a drop holster.
Correct. They'll come with a different holster, and then they'll throw their magazines in their pocket. So we're doing reload drills. That's what a training scar is, because when it comes down to the fight, your muscle memory is what they call it. Mm-hmm. You will try to pull your magazines from where you train the most, and you have to train the same every time, so that happens naturally. If you put them in your pocket this time, or you let your magazines hit the deck and you pick your magazines up every time, they've actually seen officers in shootings where the officer dropped his empty magazine, reloaded, and he's still shooting, and then reached down to pick up his empty magazine. See what I'm saying? Because it's muscle memory that gets you killed. And so that's what we're talking about.
Or in the old days when they carried the 6-shooters, they would dump the rounds into their hand and then put the rounds in their pocket instead of just dumping them out and reloading. Oh, so
and they've done that in shootings where they put them in their hands and guys have been killed. Yeah. Your brain will go back to these gross motor skills, and these that's why you train the same over and over, so it will just happen. Does that make sense?
Perfect.
So those are training scars, and we've actually seen it where guys are picking up magazines
and
in
I've heard of that.
Fights. Yep.
We
don't let them pick up their magazines.
We leave them on the ground until that course of fire is over, and then you pick
your
them up.
magazines on the deck.
They're empty. They're no good to you.
Correct. Yes. Yes.
Not
you can
all.
buy another one if something happens to it.
So that book is The Law of Self-Defense.
Okay.
And it's written by Andrew F. Branca, Branca. I highly recommend you get it if you carry, because there are.
What's the book again? I'm going to put it in the show notes, and I'll put a link to the in the show notes.
The Law of Self-Defense.
Okay.
Andrew F. Branca, Branca.
He's an attorney.
He's an attorney.
Oh, wait, I see a name down there I recognize too. It was forward by Masad Ayub.
Yeah, he wrote a great forward on here.
And if you remember that, Ryan, he's one of the guys that taught the a flashlight, the AUB style of carrying a flashlight.
Okay.
So he's
cool.
He's a pistol guy.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
He's heavy into the Second Amendment also. This is an indispensable guide for the armed citizen. That's the subtitle. And I tell you what, man, it really is. It opens your eyes as to what is, and this is basically in all 50 states, what will be what will hang you if you do pull a weapon.
Okay.
And what will get you off.
Okay.
Because basically he says, if anytime there's a death and you're going to claim self-defense, the district attorney is going to try and figure out if he can prosecute you.
They do the same to us. Yes. When we get non-duty shootings. Yep. It's the same self-defense standard. They got to look and see if it was justified.
So if you read this book, and I'm going to read it a couple more times, and it's an eye-opener. I mean, there's 5 elements that have to be true in every self-defense shooting.
Nice. Or
you're going to go to jail.
Right.
And if you don't think about those things before you decide to draw your weapon, it may get you in jail.
Yep. Be good to know.
Oh, he also outlines what to expect afterwards.
Correct.
After it happens. And that's an eye-opener too.
Right.
It's not going to be pretty.
No, it's not.
Nope.
And I will tell you that
you will probably get handcuffed.
It's highly
you will
likely.
Probably go down and be jailed.
Yep. It is. Depending on the situation, totally.
Oh yeah. Now, if it's in your home, that's sorry.
Correct.
That's a whole lot of different. But and especially in Tennessee, because castle doctrine is very simple. Unless there's extreme circumstances.
And you mean home self-defense when you say castle doctrine?
Castle doctrine for the listeners, yes. Well, in Tennessee, it's in your home. It's in your car.
Okay.
It's even if you're in a campground.
Okay.
If you're
that's your abode.
Whatever is your castle, at the time, you have every right to defend it.
Very similar here. Yeah.
Other states, it's not that simple. And that's where you need to really, be aware when you're traveling.
Yeah, or if you live in that state and that's where mostly you ride.
Well, like New York.
Right.
Yeah, there was another one.
Yep.
Oh, well.
Well, now I got to leave that one in too.
Now you got to leave 3 in because he keeps mentioning it. Yeah. That's all right.
Sorry, dude.
It's all right.
It's good fun. That's part of the fun, bro.
But to get back on track here.
We still smack our lips at times too.
Yeah. You really do need to be aware when you carry. Aware of a lot of things. Because self-defense is not as simple as, the old West gun shooting movies. It's not nowhere near it. It's very complicated.
Yeah, especially depending on the particular situation. Sometimes we have had them around here where, of course they're going to investigate it to the fullest, but they're let go.
Every time
they are. Of course, you're probably going to be detained. You're going to be questioned, and stuff like that because that's how the police make their decision. But we've had them around here where then they get let go that night. Pending the investigation,
right?
Which it likely will turn out in their favor if it was a good shoot, so to speak. So and that stuff can vary too on exactly how those matters are going to be handled. But it always has to be looked at. That's what the district attorneys. It's not that they're looking to charge you, but they have to make sure
they have to get to the bottom of it.
Correct. Otherwise, everybody shoots everybody, and we're back to anarchy. So they have to make sure that when these incidents happen, that the citizen was. Absolutely.
It's called
justifiable homicide.
Yeah.
Is what it is.
Justifiable.
Yep. So,
but he also alludes to, and especially in some states, that district attorneys give, the political climate has a lot to do with it too.
Very true. We've seen that. We've seen district attorneys recently do some really stupid things and go not based on law. And some of them don't have their jobs anymore because of that. Thank God. But if they have their own agenda, or it's political and they aren't pro firearms.
And if they can just get one thing, like one of those 5 elements, to be untrue, they're going to prosecute.
Right. They may lose in trial, but at that point they meet the hurdle of prosecution.
You've got to defend yourself.
Correct. And that's expensive.
That is expensive.
Very expensive.
Way out there. Mm-hmm. Can you afford it?
Yep. Call Johnny Cochran.
Yeah. So,
he's dead.
Yeah. Oh, did he die?
Yeah, he died years ago.
I didn't even know. So,
if the glove don't fit, you must acquit, Russell. That's all your defenses. You don't even need an attorney. Just get up there and say that in front of the jury.
Just say that. You're solid.
If the glove don't fit, you must acquit.
So what I'm trying to get at is, this is another thing, you need to have financial backing. So if you don't have the funds in your bank account, you need to have some kind of insurance.
There are insurances out there, right, for this kind of thing.
And your homeowners will not cover you.
Nice.
Even if you shoot somebody in your home in self-defense, your homeowners will not cover you.
Yep. Those attorney fees are on you. I think there are insurance stuff. I'm not familiar with it because
you don't need it.
No.
You're covered by your department.
Correct, because I'd be acting in a law enforcement. Well, and I do pay for, we're covered partially through our department, but I also go above and beyond. And through the Fraternal Order of Police is what it's called, the FOP. I do pay a sum each year for additional, basically unlimited legal defense attorneys is what I pay for, so that I'm covered. And wherever I go in the U.S., they'll give me straight up attorneys, and it's unlimited. But it's a hefty fee each year that I pay for that. Unfortunately, we have to do that these days. Like malpractice for doctors, police officers, a lot of us are going out and getting additional coverage aside from our department because, unfortunately, not to get on a tangent, but depending on department's leadership and depending on departments, they're out to protect themselves a lot of times. They sell officers out because it's not a political gain for them. Yeah. It's happened throughout the United States a lot. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And if you don't have additional coverage, depending on how your department sees it, you may have done the right thing, but because of their political objectives,
they'll throw you under the bus.
Correct. They'll throw you under. There you go. Yeah. Where's my?
Yeah. So I highly there you go. Highly recommend you get some backing. Now there's several sources out there, and I went through a bunch of them, but the best top-notch one I
stopped right there.
Okay.
And we're coming right back at you with the answer to that. Mm-hmm. Right. Lurch, do you want to do this?
Hey, Bikeaholics, searching for new and exciting motorcycle products? Zero 3D has just what you're looking for. Check out their wide variety of innovative products for Harley-Davidson motorcycles. Zero 3D has got your back with chrome, lighting, comfort products. No modifying, cutting, grinding, or welding for easy installation. That equals less time installing and more time riding. Zero 3D has a design team with over 40 years of experience and a passion for design and innovation. These guys are bikers and they care about bikers just like you. They pride themselves on great customer service. Got a question? Get in touch with them via email at sales@Ciro, that's CIRO3D.com, or give them a call at 715-808-0027. Zero 3D is distributed in the United States by Drag Specialties, in Europe by Parts Europe and Zodiac, and in Asia by Twin Art. Check out your local Harley dealer. Check out your Harley dealership and ask them for Zero parts. That's right, they are in your Harley-Davidson stores. But better yet, help us and head over to lawabidingbiker.com/store and check out our full line of Zero 3D products.
Big Daddy Kane and Grunt have them in stock, ready to ship to you right this very moment with a little, what else does he throw in?
Good times. Good times. If you haven't listened to the previous podcast, which these may, who knows what order they're coming out in. So let me say this.
Well, this will be out after it because
So let me just remind the audience that we put a little good time in each of those boxes. It's just like it's a ray of good times. Just boom.
And we don't charge any extra on the store. There's not a drop down for add additional good times. We just throw it in.
It just comes over you. It's just a feeling, just of euphoria. Just good times, man.
Let the good times roll.
Big Daddy. He's got a box full of good times. He just grabs one out, drops it in your box. So when you open it, bing. There's good times.
Just there. And he has plenty. We just re-upped our order of good times, so we have plenty on hand to throw in each box through our good times distributor. Done. Awesome. Wrap that up. Okay, there we go. I like that, Lurch. Always bringing something new up. So let's get back into it. The answer, the best, I think, is where you ended, is the best insurance to get.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. In your opinion.
This is my opinion. This is my opinion. And this is who I went with. IMO.
In my humble opinion.
Or IMHO.
Yeah, nice.
So, I researched all this years ago. What I came up with was the USCCA. That's U.S. Concealed Carry Association. And they are an association, and they have tons of training material, too. And it's a for-profit organization, but probably the most... what would you call it? The most enthusiastic Second Amendment organization that's out there. You got the NRA, but it's not for concealed. The NRA is the NRA. It's been around forever. The USCCA is really aimed at, concealed carry, self-defense. And what they have is insurance. Now you pay this annually, and there's 3 tiers or something like that. I got the top tier, and I pay $379 a year.
Okay.
And then that's $1 million worth of insurance, if you want to call it that. And also
attorney's fees and everything, basically.
Yeah, but also they're there if you are involved in a self-defense shooting and then you find yourself, in jail, then even without going to jail, you're going to call them.
Correct. Yes, please do.
Oh yes. And they got people 24/7. It's not an answering service. These are their people that answer that phone 24/7, and they will put the closest top-notch Second Amendment attorney right on your side, right there, right then. And I mean, this, no matter time of day or night, that attorney will then be in touch with whatever's going on. And they're in your corner. And part of that also is bail money. So in order to get you out, you ain't got to go get a bail. They pay it.
They'll bond you. Nice.
Yep. And then if this thing goes to court, goes to trial, you got, $1 million of attorney money right there for you. So they're with you all the way.
Very similar to the FOP legal defense for us as officers. Yeah, very nice. About the same price too.
Is it? Mm-hmm. And then I added my wife. It's half price for her, like $179 then a year.
Nice. That's good info,
she's a permit carrier too.
For the audience, really good info.
It's well worth it. I like,
and we are not associated with them at all.
Peace of mind. Right. That is peace of mind.
Yep. Because you can lose it all. Even if
you're expensive.
And even if you're justified,
it's going to cost you a ton of money.
It's going to cost you a ton of money, and you definitely want to have, in that situation, even if everything's justified and you feel like it's a good shoot, you still want, I would strongly suggest getting an attorney. I say it as a law enforcement officer only because that's not because you're fighting anything. It's just to keep everybody and the district attorney and everybody doing what they're supposed to be doing to make sure, because there are agendas sometimes and you want to be protected. So just have one. And it doesn't mean that you're not going to go in and give a statement because if it's a clean shoot, it's a clean shoot.
This is also in their material and their training. They tell you what to do, what to say, what not to say.
Correct.
I mean, there's a lot of information in this association. Plus, if you get sued civilly, they're in your corner there too.
So they'll do a civil suit against you. They'll throw up attorneys for civil. I'm pretty sure of that. Not just criminal action.
I should have looked that up. Yeah, that's the way I remember it. It's been so long since I researched all this stuff.
Yeah, you guys go to the website if you're interested and check it out for yourself. Make sure you know what you're signing up for. Make sure see if it's civil and criminal. If nothing else, at least it's criminal.
Oh, for sure.
Or maybe they have tiers that you get civil with it. Just depends. I've never been on their site, but yeah, check it out. It's sounds like a good resource.
And you need to get something. I mean, if you're going to carry, you need some kind of somebody to help you if you have to defend yourself.
Unless you're loaded and you have a reserve.
Yeah.
It's gonna eat through it pretty quick.
And if you're loaded,
legal bills can
you'll get civilly sued and lose it all if you're not doing things right.
Correct. Make sure you hide it in offshore accounts. I'm teasing. Dude, I don't even know what that means.
You saw it on a movie once?
I hear it. I hear rich people doing it all the time.
Apparently Swiss bank accounts
Correct,
or
something like that.
Something like that.
Swiss cheese.
Cayman Islands.
Yeah.
I've seen it on movies.
Apparently I'm not rich enough to even understand what that means, but I hear it sounds cool. Oh yeah, I got some money in some offshore accounts.
Wish we were that way. That lucky to be that lucky. But you really do need that. But also, like I said, the USCCA has tons and tons of they got a magazine they send out, and there's a lot of information in that. They stay on top of the things that are happening in the Second Amendment world. Because that all over the country there's so many. It's all convoluted. So. You just being able to stay aware of things that are going on is helpful.
Nice. So you're mounting up and you're going to go on a ride, patron Russell Roberts. And you're going to go multiple states like you did, we couldn't, none of us could carry in Canada, not even Leo's, but here.
That is the number one rule. Do not carry what going into Canada.
No. They don't appreciate that.
No.
So you're mounting up for a ride. You're going to go multiple cross state lines. What is your plan of action, or what do you do? And how would you direct the audience as private citizens what they should do?
Well, I pack all the guns and ammo I can take with me.
Perfect. The shotgun over your shoulder. Mm-hmm.
But no, really, you do have to pre-plan, like if you're going to go from state to state. And there's lots of sources to find your reciprocity.
Reciprocity.
Anyway, from where your permit is valid and where it's not valid. I use a iOS app.
It's called Tinder.
Yeah.
No. Do you know what that is? Dude, I just found out about that the other day. I'm like, that's ridiculous.
It's a hookup app.
Yeah, not to date, to
that's what I'm saying.
To hide the sausage.
Yeah,
right. If you're looking to hide the sausage, I guess it's a new. I don't keep up on this.
It's been around for a while.
I don't either. I haven't heard of it.
Yeah, and apparently I'm not in the cool. I'm happily married and got kids. Apparently I'm a boring guy. But all the young,
as I say, don't you work with these young 20-something-year-old dudes?
I do. That's how I found out.
That's how I found out about it.
Dude, if I would have had an iPhone when I was a teenager, I'd be in jail.
There's no. You don't even have to put any work in anymore. Right, all you do is you got an app and you go.
I want to play hide the sausage tonight.
And all the I think you can set up like a distance away from your phone kind of thing, and every female that's in that area will come up and you just swipe left or right if you're interested in them. So I think
no way.
Yeah. And then if you,
it's all free. It's just people that want to hump.
And at the same time, the gals are doing the same thing, right? Right. So then you guys match that you both like each other, and then you can start. If
I'd have had that app when I was young,
and then you just hook up and hump.
Yeah, right? That's like there's nothing to it. These kids these days
just hump.
They don't have to do all the hard work that we did.
Do people still hump, or do they call it hump?
I don't think
what
so.
What is it called now?
Does that date me when I call it humping?
Yeah.
Man,
a little bit.
Sounds a lot better than dry humping, which we used to do in high school, dude. These kids these days, what the hell,
dude? Now they just send naked pictures of themselves back and forth.
Correct.
Damn.
Jesus,
I'm telling you.
These kids have nothing. This brings up a thought. We mentioned it earlier that Hugh Hefner passed away.
You still dry hump, by the way?
No, rest in peace, Hugh. But I was thinking about this earlier, and there's kids, probably people that are under the age of 30 have no idea like what Playboy and Playboy magazine was, and you had to look at a magazine to see a naked chick. You couldn't just go on the internet or your phone and pull up whatever the nastiest crap you want to see.
It is. It's just in your face. Dude.
Yeah, I mean, we had to look at Sears catalogs, man.
I remember that.
National Geographic.
Yeah,
let's look at.
It's true. The Sears lingerie.
Yeah, these kids, man. It's crazy.
It is. It's what do they call it? The information age, dude. It's insane because it's scary.
Oh, you're right.
Because imagine if I was 18 and I could have just pulled up an iPhone, dude, and looked at the funk like
could you imagine
bestiality? It would have been just horrible, dude.
These poor kids get
because I was not responsible. And I thank God I don't have boys for that reason.
Oh, yeah, no kidding.
Because daughters are hard enough, but dude, if I had a boy with a phone,
get out of that shower. You've been in there too long, boy.
Dude. I'm not touching that phone.
No way.
Dude, that's some spunk juice on it, dude.
Yeah.
Get your spunk off the phone.
No doubt.
Remember, we had not to get off track, but we had a guy we worked with, and he was having a problem with his son.
Uh-oh.
And he got the keyboard all freaking. The keys were sticking on his computer and crap.
Oh,
dude.
shit.
Oh, he used to tell us stories about what he was trying. Remember that kid kept breaking his passwords and getting into the the nastiest of porn you can do. That was before iPhones even, but just the computer, dude. And
I'm glad I got girls.
Horrible. That is. We were talking about apps and I sidetracked us.
We went down a rabbit hole.
Only because I was getting educated on this walking around the fair the other day. One of the sex crimes detectives was educating.
Swiping left?
Yeah, well, he was telling me about all these apps, these horrible stuff that's going on. He's the one that brought it. I'm like, what? Like, I'm so apparently sheltered on that kind of stuff because I'm like,
me too.
Then he told me some of our officers have the app, and
I'm sure. Yeah, I know some of the younger ones I worked with did.
Just like, oh my god, dude, you can, all right.
That's dating these days.
So if you just want to hump, I guess you get on Tinder. And if the audience out there, if you just want to go hump, I guess that app
right now, 40-years-olds are writing this down, and the 20-year-olds that are listening are going, man, that's been out for 5 years. These guys are old. The millennials are like, man, what a bunch of old fogies these guys are.
Dude. We're dating ourselves, dude.
Yeah.
All right, let's get back on track. Sorry.
He's planning his trip using the app.
Using an app. Mm-hmm.
Yep, the app's CCW. It's available.
Just CCW.
Yep.
Is it on iOS and Android?
I believe both. It's on iOS.
Probably doesn't work on Android, but you can try it.
You can put in your permit.
I'm teasing all you Android fanboys out there. They get mad at me when I talk about that stuff. Some people.
Yeah, people. It's like a Ford versus Chevy kind of thing.
Right.
People love their Androids.
Well, they just haven't experienced iOS. That's why. But go ahead.
In the app, you can you can select the state you have, and it will show you all the whatever that word is. Reciprocity that states you have. So then whenever you click on my permits, you can see, and I was showing Matt that earlier, you can see the states that are green.
That's nice, dude.
You can your permit's valid, and the red or not. And then
that's cool.
You can click on any state and you can see a lot of the rules and laws that go in that state, what you can and can't do. And like Indiana, or Ohio, I just clicked on that. It says duty to inform officer, yes.
Okay, see, there, like I was talking about earlier, duty to inform. If I contact you or stop you in a vehicle, you got to tell me.
Right.
If
And
you're
then where you can and cannot carry, like some states, restaurants that serve alcohol, you can or you cannot. Like in Ohio,
that's a handy app, dude. Is it free?
It's free.
Wow, I'm surprised that's free because they could charge for that $1.99. That'd be anybody who carries. That's
and like
a money app.
Roadside rest areas, yes, you can carry. State parks, yes, but not in buildings. State forest, same way.
Handy.
Whereas other states, there's no restriction, or there is restrictions altogether. Like I think Florida's got different ones, that you can and can't do.
When you get a chance, not right now, but share that app with me via text later.
Okay.
After the podcast, so that I can make sure I put the right one in the show notes.
And then if you want to read the statutes, there's a link to that, so you can read the actual statutes. And then, and Attorney General opinions about different things. You can click on that, and you know how that is.
Nice.
The Attorney General will a lot of times give out, write their own opinions about rulings that the courts have done.
Mm-hmm.
So. This app is so handy, and I travel all over the country. Although I don't carry in a truck anymore, because I go into Canada.
Oh, right, and
I can't carry in Canada.
They don't have a lock box on our side of the border that you can lock it in a lock box, and they give you a key. Yeah. Wouldn't that be handy?
That would be.
Man.
No, you can do that with an FFL, but being in a truck, that's too much work.
Yep.
Trying to get to one of those guys when they're open and stuff. But the other thing is I can't. Carry on the military bases a lot of times.
Oh yeah.
Although I've never been asked. Well, I did have. A lot of times you're asked, "Are you carrying any weapons?" And I'll say no. And actually, at the last military base I went to was Conner Air Force Base in New Mexico, and usually most of these places you have to open up all your doors. You have to get out of the truck. You have to go and then go inside and do your background check, and then security will search your vehicle. And the last one I was at in Cannon, he comes back and he says, I see you had a safe. You ain't got any weapons in there, do you? And so I laughed, I chuckled. I said, no, I just keep money and computer and stuff in there. And because it's a lockable safe.
Mm-hmm.
And I had that safe put in for that purpose, but also because, crossing state lines, some states my permit's not valid. So I would put my gun in there.
Yeah.
Like Illinois or California.
Right.
And then I'm legal because, you can transport your firearm. That's federal law. The states cannot stop you from transporting through their state with your firearm.
Okay, good to know. Does it have to be locked in a safe or?
It has to be locked up.
Okay,
now,
so
every state will have a little variation on how you can carry through their state.
Right.
Because they cannot prevent you from taking your weapon from one legal state to another legal state.
Okay.
They can't stop.
It's good info.
So,
but it has to be.
If you're riding a bike, it has to be locked. Like if you're going from Indiana to Missouri and going through Illinois recognizes nobody else's permit. None. Only their own. And California is the same way. So if you are going through the state, you have to lock it up. Oh, and you have to take your clip out. There can't be any. You can't have one in the chamber.
Okay, right.
Your magazine has to be empty if it's
unloaded and locked.
Yep. So that's the other reason I have a safe in the truck. But since I've been doing more Canadian loads, which pay really well, I'm pretty much no longer ever carrying in the truck now.
Yeah, because there is no way to do that. Yeah.
No.
Wow.
So, but if you're riding, just know that when you're going through those states, you're like this app will show you, you have to lock up your weapon.
Okay. Awesome. So that's just great info for the law-abiding biker community because we don't.
If your saddlebags locked up and your gun's in there, then you're legal.
Unloaded, of
course.
If that's the rule. So,
yep.
Well, good to know. Good to know. See, that's why I want to have you in there because we don't have to pay attention to these kinds of things. So, very good to know. All right, let's do this real quick and then we'll finish up here. So, we love our patron members. Russell sitting right here in the studio with us, chilling like a villain, and chillaxing with us. Chillaxing, that's the new word. My 12-year-old, you got to chillax.
Chillax, Dad. That's chill and relax together.
Right. I feel like you got to smoke some weed if you're going to chillax. Like, you know what I mean? It sounds like such a hippie thing. I'm just chillaxing, bro. Smoking a bowl. All right. So we love our patrons. Of course, we would love to get to know you better in the private Facebook group. But if for whatever reason you can't sign up as a patron, we never balk at a flat. He was on cue, ready for that.
Yep.
At a flat donation. And we want to thank these people because that's how they chose to support us.
Randy Jordan of Santa Clara, California. Is it Jordan or Gurdon?
Sure.
He donated after asking a question on a contact form. So you must have answered it.
Of course we did.
And Steven Stratton. Hey, I know that guy.
We do.
Yeah. Another fellow truck driver. Also, James Bruins. Sorry, guys. I'm getting a...
And Steve's a patron, by the way.
Frog in your throat?
Yep. And then Peter Trapani of somewhere.
Of unknown, we don't know. Sometimes when they do the donations, they don't include their location.
Bug in his throat.
And we'd also like to thank Jim Demetrius. He is a LAB, our patron. And here's what he says. He donated some money to the LAB Garage and Studio saying he wants us to get some AC. Thank you, Jim.
Yeah.
Jim's part of the reason I think we did the crowdfunding.
Correct.
He's the one that really pushed that. So
Yep.
thanks
Awesome.
for all your support, Jim. Enjoyed riding with you, and God bless you for the donation. And Barry Darnell of Morgantown, West Virginia. Thank you all for your donations.
Thank you so much. lawabidingbiker.com/donate is how you get hooked up there. And yes, we have the fundraiser page going, and it will still be going even after technically the closing date, but I'll keep it up. It'll be lawabidingbiker.com/build it if you want to help us see us take Lab to the next level and help us with a new studio and shop. Overwhelming response over there. So lawabidingbiker.com/build it if that's how you choose to support us. So
thanks, Matt.
Yeah.
For
you're welcome. No problem.
He took over, bailed you out. I've had to have that happen before too. So here we go. I think we've kind of gone there with the laws and what. Let's move in so we can wrap it up because I'm hungry and I want to go to lunch.
Yeah.
Why don't we take it right into the Facebook post? And here it is, Ross Tomez, and he is a patron. This is directly from our private Facebook group, the patron only Facebook group. Does anyone have any? He says, does anyone have any suggestions on the best way to conceal carry when you're out on the motorcycle? I just can't find that sweet spot that doesn't dig into my back groin or my love handles. LOL. I can't wear just a t-shirt. The gun prints from every angle. I thought about anchoring the holder to the bike. I have a 14 Ultra Limited, but that doesn't seem to be the most practical ideal. Any ideas would be appreciated. Thank you. And if you don't know what printing is, it would be carrying under your shirt, and the gun can be kind of be seen poking out of your shirt. That would be printing. If you guys aren't familiar with that term.
I've been guilty of letting that happen.
I print all the time. Like I carry. So I'll just start with me. I'm pretty simple, and then we'll read where some of the patrons too. I think that'll be fun, huh? Share in there, and then you guys can share you. So let's just do so I'm pretty easy. A lot of guys try to conceal. I get it. I've just been carrying a gun for like 21 years, and even before that, before I was in law enforcement, I carry a full-size Glock 45 on my right hip in an outside the pants holster, and it pokes out of my shirt, and I print everywhere, and I don't give a shit. But that's just me. I at least put my shirt over. You know what? Most citizens, you'd be surprised. Citizens that don't carry guns They don't even.
Don't even observe it.
It's only other people. You can tell other permit holders because they'll look down and see it. They realize it's a Glock 45 poking out of my shirt. But I never get asked. I don't care. That's how I carried it on my motorcycle. But again, I'm a motorcycle officer, and I every day it's on my right hip on my duty belt. When I'm off duty, it sags my pants a little bit. I think my side's so used to it now of being there that for most people, I think it would be uncomfortable. And, walking around with that heavy full-size Glock 45 on my hip. But in the past, I've dabbled. I have quite a few other guns, especially smaller guns. I have 380s and I have a subcompact Glock 40. I've toyed with that stuff, and I've just come back over the years to the realization that I want my full-size Glock 45 with me, and I'm pretty good with that thing. And I don't want to be going back and forth with different guns. The rest are scattered around for home defense and things like that. So that's how I roll. I have in the past our vests. So there's certain...
Before you move on with that,
please.
There is only one little old lady in Spokane County that was traumatized by your style of carrying your weapon.
By us biker gang going by him.
We're rolling down the road, and he's just got a shirt on. It's summertime. His shirt rolls up, and his gun's hanging out. And I'm next to him, and I could feel the lady look, so I looked over at her, and she turned and looked at his gun and just got a horrified look on her face.
Because there's like 6 Harleys rolling by her.
Oh, I bet.
It's a biker gang. Oh, my God. Yeah, you told me about that.
Yeah, I got a good laugh.
True that.
So vest.
There are vests that are made that have holsters built into them. You can look at them. I'm not going to promote any brands on this podcast. But
tons of them.
There are tons of them. And I have dabbled with that in the past. There are times, that I've carried my subcompact 40 in my vest in that, particular holster that's built in. So, but again, for years I've been back to, I go cross country with it. I'm right on my hip, printing everywhere. So, let's go around the room. Russell?
Well, there's a lot of different ways. When riding, I will either be at my...
Do you keister it?
Huh?
Do you keister it?
Keister? What the hell?
He's never been to prison, apparently.
No.
That's good. See, you threw that out there just to make sure he was a law-abiding biker. So
correct.
Because now we have confirmation right he is.
What is keister it?
Keistering is when you hide it in your anus.
Oh.
That's what prisoners do. They keister shit like weapons and shit to get into prison. Yeah.
No, I don't keister.
You don't keister it?
No.
Use lube if you do.
Yeah. Okay.
I would strongly suggest some lube for bug slide before
when
you
riding.
You don't keister without the slide.
Bug slide.
That's our new motto. Don't keister without the slide. Okay, we're immature. Russell's like, why do I come here?
There you go.
Yeah. Hang with these.
So other than sticking it up your butt, where do you carry it?
Other than putting it in your butthole.
Well, I don't have a vest that's made for concealed carry, but I know there's tons out there. But I do have a pocket. Now I carry, there's a couple of my preferred. I like my full size at Springfield XDM 40. And I always carry it on my 4 o'clock on my hip.
Okay.
And I also have an M&P Shield, which is a small, 40
Good guns,
cal.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
It's
become
much
very
smaller,
popular over the years.
and it fits in my vest pocket. So if I'm going to carry that way, I can do that. Plus, also I can carry that in my pocket.
I think you should carry 2 cross draw revolvers.
There you go.
And just frickin' how sweet would that be? Russell Roberts just come out with his cross draws, dude.
Yeah,
And just go, America,
right,
fuck
right.
yeah.
Yeah. America. And, but whenever I'm not riding, if I'm not carrying, like if I'm dressed like I am today, it's kind of hard. Now in Tennessee, you cannot print.
Really?
Yeah.
No
There are regulations in different
weird is
states.
that, man?
That is strange.
But
you can't open carry there either.
Nope.
So you can't print. They want these things hidden. Very interesting.
Yep. So you cannot print.
I don't like that. Don't like that.
No, I don't either. So you have to be thinking about that.
Completely concealed.
Whatever you're wearing and stuff.
The keister would do that. You can't print when you're keistering.
No, you wouldn't, would you?
Unless you farted, maybe. The barrel poked out.
As I remember it, I don't think you can print. And I know it varies. I know in Ohio you can't print either, or at least used to be. And that can be tricky. Oh, jeez. So, when you're at Walmart and you're bending down to get that jug off the bottom shelf, and you print, and somebody
if you
freaks
bend
out
over too far.
Well, yeah, you're printing in for it, and
So immature. Funny. All right.
so you gotta be careful. So what I also have is fanny packs. Fanny packs are great.
Yep.
And they make them now with to where you can quick
if you
draw.
want to wear a fanny pack.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, some guys, I'm not against them.
Oh, I love a fanny pack.
Yeah.
And when you're wearing t-shirt and shorts,
You got no choice, right?
yeah, and you're wearing sandals or whatever, you just bare minimum. It's summertime. You don't want to be uncomfortable, and you want to be that beach bum feeling. You're not gonna pack a full size Glock
Right.
in your shorts.
Right. That's when it gets awkward for me, but I do carry it. But I have to wear a belt with my shorts, and I carry it on my right
that
hip,
right?
and it prints
Yep.
like a motherfucker, and it sometimes sags my shorts. But I hate that when I'm wearing shorts because it does get a little bit awkward there for
a
my
fanny
full
pack
size.
is great. I
Yeah.
love them, and it also holds my wallet, my car keys.
Yep.
Plus extra mags.
And you need to train with those fanny packs.
And
guys,
that's
if
the
you're
other
gonna be
thing I was
wearing
going to
those.
say. Whatever you're going to, conceal in, you need to train, your draw, your technique with that setup, because seconds count.
Correct. Yeah, you may not be getting it out very quick.
Yeah. And that's one of the things I love about my fanny pack. It's a one ripcord kind of thing.
Yeah,
I just pull that, reach my hand in, and I can draw it real fast.
Yep, nice. I have one of those. I haven't wore that for years and years. They were real popular when they first came out. A lot of us were wearing those, and
Well,
yeah.
at the time,
They're still great.
A lot of people were wearing fanny packs. It was socially acceptable.
Oh, geez. Here we go, Russell.
Now you see a dude with a fanny pack.
I don't give
like
a
that.
damn what people think.
Well, here's the only thing about it now. If I see somebody with a fanny pack on, I assume there's a gun in there. Which
It's
is
true.
which
Do
is
you
fine.
really?
You
Oh,
can
yeah.
see it because if you're another permit or firearms person, they're very easy to tell the gun ones.
Since
Yeah.
I've become a permit holder, I've
Not that I
noticed a
care.
lot more
Yeah.
than I used to be oblivious to.
You can tell the way the zipper's designed. It's got the
Yeah,
little pull
correct.
tab
The
so you
loop.
can zip,
Yep.
whip
Got-
it open.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, I noticed that too.
So if you want to be discreet and you don't want somebody to know you have a firearm, not that either way, I'm just saying, then the fanny pack, definitely people would.
Yep.
And if you're a runner, they got them
Yes.
now to where it's a chest pack like fanny pack, but on your chest, because it's kind of hard to run
Which
with
is
something dangling and hitting your crotch while you're running.
Right.
But if you got they make them now for all kinds of activities.
That's nice. See, I need to look into that. So here's what I've run for years and years. It's funny. I may be different than most people, but I literally run with my subcompact 40 in my hand. That's
What?
I run. Oh yeah. I run in the morning because I won't go without the gun. Number one, for dogs, because we live in the country.
Yeah.
If there's any vicious dogs, but also I'm away and I'm completely unarmed. So I literally have an iPhone, my wireless earbuds. I listen to my podcast, and I have run for years and years with my subcompact 40. I just palm it. Of course, I'm not on the trigger, and I run. That's
Oh,
how
damn.
that's how I run. But
Wow.
that's interesting that they make, because I've never knew. I'm like, I can't do it with it on my hip. I'm in shorts
No.
and t-shirt, but I
Yeah.
refuse to go run around the country without being armed, just the way I am. And so there you go. Run with a subcompact in my palm.
I think
I'll
they
look into
call
those.
it. I
I'll
think
look
they
into
call it
those.
a gunny. No, I can't remember the name. But there's just go look on
That's
Amazon.
awesome.
Even there's all
Yeah.
kinds of them.
Gunny
funny.
sack.
Gunny sack. Nice.
Yeah, I think that might be it. And there's all kinds of ways to carry, and you could do those kinds of things even if you're riding. But vest is a real popular way to carry. But when you take your vest off, then you got to be able to put it somewhere else.
Right.
And that's where my M&P shield is so small that it'll fit right in my right pants pocket if I have the right, pants on with a long enough pocket
Right.
to fit right down in there in a holster, little draw holster kind of thing that, it'll stay in my pocket when I draw it.
Right.
The holster will.
Yeah. Nice. Nice. I've seen some of those. Yeah.
And then that holster keeps it from printing.
Right. And right. Yeah. Very good point. Very good point. And there are inside the pants holsters. A lot of our
Yep, I've got
officers wear
those.
that
I've
don't
got
want to
that.
print, but I've tried one of those. Miserable. Up against my hip. If I'm going to wear it on my right hip, I'll just let it print and wear it on the outside of my pants, because that was just horribly uncomfortable for me.
But some of the guys in the group here had all kinds of ideas.
They did, and we'll get to those. So here we go. I want to answer one of Ross Thomas's questions. Now, I'll tell you, in Washington State, you need to check. He was like, should I just mount it to my bike? I'll tell you, in Washington State, if you have a concealed weapons permit, that's actually illegal. You can't put it under your car seat. You can't put it in your console. I will tell you, I don't enforce that. Okay.
Is that right?
But here's the deal. It's very specific in Washington State that if you have a concealed weapon, it will be on your person at all times. You will not.
Ohio's that way too.
Okay. So make sure, Ross, your laws, I would hate for you to get hemmed up by putting a holster or building something in where you can carry your firearm. In Washington State, like I say, it has to be on your person unless it's locked away in a box and separate from the ammo. But if you got to conceal weapons, you don't really want to do that. So you need to put it on your person. So make sure you check your, he's sent this from Chicago, Illinois. So make sure you check your rules on that. So let's go through, Matt. How do you carry?
When I ride, I keep it in my vest. When I ride, I put it in my vest just because it's more comfortable to have it there.
Right. If you're riding with your vest.
Yeah. If I'm not riding with my vest, then I put it on my hip. I carry, other than my vest, I carry it two ways, either on my hip in a holster outside the pants, or I use my inside the pant holster, which is sitting, I think you'd call it the 4 o'clock, behind my hip. It's a crossbreed holster that goes inside the pants. And
crossbreed is a good.
They're custom made. Nice holster.
Mm-hmm. I got one. For inside the band.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go through and then we're going to wrap it up because I'm hungry and I think if you want to read through some of these, go ahead, guys. These are some of the patrons that commented.
Yeah, we got one that's using a crossbreed mini tuck.
Robert Hensey.
Carrying it. So that's an inside the pant holster. And what else do we got? We got a 4 o'clock, which that doesn't say what type of
4
holster.
o'clock with an M&T full size 9 in a Concealment Solutions Black Mamba.
There you go.
That was Chad Rosenboom.
Yeah, he's a Texan.
He is a Texan, yeah.
We got Ricky Lee.
Ricky Lee, he's
carrying his vest, or sometimes a shoulder holster. And I've seen him with that.
Each side.
Yeah, shoulder holster is another good thing if you're.
No, he's doing the one on each side.
Does he have two?
Ricky, yeah.
I think. Well,
that's what he says there.
He's got. I thought he had a mag on one side.
Yeah, mag on one side.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah,
okay.
They usually on those shoulder holsters put the mags on the other side. Yeah, that would be badass if he was. I wasn't aware.
Okay.
Sometimes in my front pocket, he says, with my Kel-Tec 9, I used to have an old Kel-Tec 9. Yeah, you can just drop those suckers right in your pocket. Be careful about trigger discipline on that. But but you can.
Don't blow your wiener off.
Don't blow your wiener off.
No.
There's it looks like our San Gorgonio chapter. They've got one of the guys has a mount set up in their saddlebag where they drilled through the inside of the saddlebag.
And they're law enforcement, by the way.
Yeah,
yes.
So they can do that.
Yeah, it's a holster drilled right into or somehow a holster glued to the side of the thing.
They drilled through the saddlebag, but they did it on the inside where you can't see it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, on the inside where it faces the frame.
Facing the frame and the tire, yeah.
Nice.
And then they mounted a holster in there so they can
you can easily reach back and pop your saddlebag and have access to it there. That's nice. Mm-hmm. Here's another, that's just a different angle of it. Okay.
Vest, another guy carrying the vest.
Yep, that's James. Let's throw names. James McKinley says, I found it in my vest. He's in the private Facebook group here. Most vests now have pocket. I'm just breezing through it here. M&P Shield 40, completely concealable. Has a SIG 2340. Okay.
Jonathan, he's got...
Jonathan Holland.
Yep. He appendix carry.
Okay.
A J&M Kydex or a 5-shot leather.
Or shoulder holster for his 1911. Guess it depends on...
what gun you've got to do. It does.
This is DeRizzo.
That's
carries
Lee.
A compact...
Popeye.
Is that...
That's Popeye.
Oh, is he back on? I didn't even know that was him.
Yep.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Okay, I'll have to remember that. What a dork.
It's not uncommon for law enforcement officers to change up their name so that it's hard to find them on Facebook.
According to Rob, that's sort of his nickname.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh, interesting. Okay. They're made here in Washington. Hip holster from Gunfighters, Inc. Okay, cool. Yep, there's Jonathan Holland. We'll go through a couple more and then we're going to close it out.
Now, some guys do carry, and I have a leg holster.
Yes. Definitely not quick access.
No.
For leg holster.
But that
be aware
might be
of it.
the only place you can put it.
True that.
Are you saying ankle holster?
Ankle holster.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Ankle holster. Rick Kemner inside his vest pocket or OWB on right hip. Yep. Both comfortable. Regular t-shirt and vest. Hip carry, Larry Beans Baxter, S&W Airweight 38. There you go. In my right pants pocket. That's what's nice about revolvers. Or the smaller ones like the Airweights, revolvers. Russell, you were there. Ken Peters. Leather vest. Yeah, a lot of guys leather vest. We're just scrolling through these real quick. Heavy duty Velcro stuck to the front of my hard bag. Used old Bellatine holster with Kydex A holder for my Springfield XD9 subcompact. It's empty. So yeah, I see he did a saddlebag deal where he just freaking put assload of Velcro to both his holster and the inside of the saddlebag. So there you go, guys. Chris Wood, 1911, Black Milt Sparks Axiom OWB holster, Missouri, constitutional carry. But he also has a CCW, so don't worry much if it prints, is what he's saying. So yeah, good freaking stuff. All right, do you guys have anything else that you want to say before we take it out? That's a good long episode. I'll tell you that. I didn't know it was going to go that long. You never know when you get started.
Yeah, we could go on for a long time. If, you could go deep in this.
Right. Anything else though that was really important that would be quick?
No, that's a really good preview.
This was your show, that you kind of put together.
We covered the basics of it. The biggest thing is just train.
Right.
Get training. Get in some kind of financial backing with insurance or something.
Yes.
You're going to need it if you ever draw. If you ever use your weapon, you're going to need all the help you can get. Yep. And just read about it too. Read that book we talked about, because that's an eye opener, and that will help you decide on whether you're going to come to somebody else's aid, which is the really risky part of using your weapon, or if it's you're protecting your own family, that what's going on.
Right. Decide what your criteria is, your personal criteria. Are you going to get involved in a convenience center being held up by a robber?
That's risky, man.
Are you only going to use it
risky?
Or are you going to only use it if somebody is trying to threaten your life or rob you? So those are the decisions you have to make. So,
or if it's a terrorist thing, it's pretty clear cut.
Correct.
Then you know what to do.
Yep.
But be careful out there.
Nice way to take it out. So don't forget, we have a special JNP Cycle link for you guys. They created a page just for you guys for Lab. lawabidingbiker.com/deals now. Constantly check it. If you're on that page, any of the products on there, you're going to get a special deal. And if you click through and enter coupon code LAWAB, it's LAWAB, LAWAB, you'll get up to 30% off. They're always putting stuff in there. Try to give you guys some deals and trying to move some stuff, of course. So again, lawabidingbiker.com/deals now. Thanks, Lurch, for being in here. Thank you,
pleasure.
Russell Roberts.
Also, check me out, longhaulife.com.
Oh, yes, please do. Give a plug. longhaulife.com. Have you released an episode?
It's coming out.
Okay.
I got it recorded. I've got to edit it.
Awesome.
And then I'll probably start cranking them out.
You guys check that out.
New podcast.
Yep. You definitely have the website up. We checked that last time, so I'm glad you brought that up because I didn't know where you were at. So record it, and he'll get an episode up, and I can't wait to listen to it.
Cool.
Can't wait to listen to it, bro. All right, guys. Peace out. Thanks for being here.